Hello, everyone. Stand by for our live video update. The Bush Creek East Wildfire, K21633, scheduled for 2 o'clock Pacific time. I'm Erick Thompson. We'll be here with you live in just a few minutes. Again, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Just a reminder to the media, if you can please enter in your name and the outlet you're with, the media organization, that would be very helpful. And of course, raise your hand if you do have any questions. Again, to the media, if you can please enter your name into Zoom, that would be very helpful. And we will get started here in just a few minutes. And again, we're on Zoom, but we're broadcasting live on the CSRD YouTube channel. Stand by. Although this is about a 1.5 minute warning, we're ready to get started on our video briefing, and we'll get started in just a moment. We're going to be live on YouTube, as I mentioned earlier. Of course, the media joining us on Zoom for Q&A. The plan is to have Forrest Tower from BC Wildfire do a quick update for us. We'll have a map, so he will share screen for that. That's really important for the public to be able to see that, but you will, for the media, get a chance to get some on-camera comments from Forrest, and we'll come back for Q&A, and we'll ask him to take the map away for that. And then we'll have some comments from my colleagues here, Tracy, Hughes, and Erick Sutherland. So stand by, we'll be with you in just a moment. Hello and welcome to the Wildfire Information Briefing for Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023, recording at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for the Bush Creek East Wildfire, K21633. I'm Erick Thompson. With me is Tracy Hughes. She's an information officer with the Columbia Shuswap Regional District. And on the other side of me here is Erick Sutherland. He is the EOC Director and also Protective Services Team Leader with the CSRD. And I am an information officer with the CSRD working out of Salmon Arm. Forrest Tower will be joining us in just a moment. Forrest is an information officer with BC Wildfire Service. We'll ask Forrest to give us an update on the wildfire. Today will be a shorter update. We did provide quite a lengthy update during our previous information briefing. And then we will also share screen for that briefing. We'll go to some questions from the media, and then we'll talk a bit about some of the local concerns and issues, things like emergency support services, access permits, and more. We'll have some contact information as well. Let's get started. We'll see if we can bring in Forrest Tower. He is joining us from Kamloops, information officer with the BC Wildfire Service. And there is Forrest. Forrest, I'll ask if you can just give us a few opening comments, and then at that point, if you don't mind sharing your screen for your update.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks. So kind of high level updates. We did receive rain over most areas of the fire in various amounts. So on the western side, we have a quick deploy weather system along the Adams FSR. It received about 15.4 millimeters of rain. Our weather station in Turtle Valley, about 7 mils. As we progress further east, this weather station is not in the fire, but is a bit east of it. It received about 20 mils. So various amounts depending on where we were on the fire. But regardless, we have an increase in relative humidity, lower temperatures. So that's really resulted in quite widespread diminishing of fire behavior. There is still some definitely active areas of the fire, and that's concentrated in areas where fire has burned deep and is still, it has available fuel. So that could be trees or whatever in terms of where the fire is burning in. But broadly, we're seeing a reduction in fire behavior, except for some areas which are still proving challenging along the existing perimeter. So I'm happy to do a quick flyover if you want me to share my screen now, or if we want to do any other comments, or just go to the map.
Map would be great. Thank you so much, Forrest.
Awesome. Okay, so like was mentioned, I'm actually going to pull up our dispatch map. So this is going to look a little bit odd, but I'm going to explain what's happening here. So this is our dispatch system. This is what our dispatchers use in terms of monitoring resources. So that's why it's not maybe a system people would have seen like Google Earth. The thing in red, that's our fire. All the little yellow things flying around are all helicopters. So just want to the easiest way I have to show you where our helicopters are currently working. You can see exactly where they are. This is updated in real time. You might see them flying around as I'm talking. So I'm just going to focus my updates on a few new information, I guess, from yesterday. Going to keep it a little bit shorter. So primarily our focus right now is in basically all the community areas. So Lee Creek, Scotch Creek, Solista, Magna Bay, along North Shore Shuswap. You can see here these helicopters that are flying around. They're providing bucket support for crews that are working in upslope of all of those communities that I mentioned. Unit crews will be working to establish handguard or machine guard if there are heavy equipment supporting them, as there is in Magna Bay. So they'll be using a combination, like I said, working off of machine guards or handline, pretty much along the entire North Shuswap area. And we're working on a machine guard kind of on the eastern side of the fire where Magna Bay is, up above private properties connecting into Ross Creek. So that still is ongoing and is most likely will be completed today by the updates that I got. So if we move around here, I'll go south of Highway 1. Currently, you can see some helicopters bucketing. This is what, again, these yellow things are by Sorrento. So still have a heavy engagement with wildland firefighters and structure protection folks in the Sorrento area. As we work around down the bottom south of this perimeter, we're going over into the Turtle Valley area here. So down in there, again, we have a unit crew working supported by heavy equipment. They're working basically from Little Shuswap Lake and our building guard around the southern line up into Turtle Valley area. And then we'll connect in with the folks working up from the Sorrento side, and they'll meet up. And essentially everything down south of Highway 1, the idea being that there'll be some sort of containment guard. Again, they're supported by helicopters and heavy equipment where needed. Crew is still working in the Locum Bear Creek Road and Locum Valley area. So again, working on limiting any further spread towards the Sun Peaks direction. We haven't seen any major activity on this side in a bit. It certainly is active and there are flare-ups and there is open flame, but in terms of aggressive fire behavior threatening it to move anywhere, this side is looking well. Little Shuswap Lake area, again, crews working. You can kind of see a line that is where my cursor is going. I think you can see my cursor, but essentially just connect those two little areas that are jutting out on the area by Little Shuswap Lake. A unit crew is working to build guard, connecting the Locum Bear Creek Road right down into, and apologize, I don't know the name of the road, but the road that is connecting cabins and properties north of Little Shuswap Lake. So kind of tying off this side of the fire so it can't progress down further into Chase and Esconlith area. Up towards the Adams Lake side, looking very quiet up here. Not a lot of fire behavior on either side of Adams Lake. There are still some folks in the area that are monitoring things and ensuring that if there is any flare-ups, we are aware of them. And then just the final thing I'll mention, we did have extensive heli flights yesterday, pretty much on all of the fire. We were able to get our helis up all of yesterday. So we probably will have updated perimeter tracks in the short term. We were able to fly up in this north end, not a lot of movement up here. We hadn't seen that part of the fire for quite some time. So expecting that there will be some changes to the current perimeter. This is the same perimeter, as a reminder, that was done essentially immediately after all the fire growth that we had. So now that we have the ability to drive around in most areas, to fly it, we'll see some changes, and that will result in a change of size and also where some lines are on the perimeter. Those get updated very quickly after we submit them in. They come to this system I'm showing you here first, our dispatch system. As soon as that's updated, it goes out to the public dashboard, less than 5 minutes usually. So I just want to signal we're most likely to see some change in the size. It's been static in our dashboard system. Obviously, in real life, it has not remained exactly static. And it's not a result of growth on that particular day, whenever that updates. That will be a reflection of basically since the 18th all the way until now, all the data that we have that's currently being processed, there will be a change. So I just want to make sure people are well aware of that and not be surprised by inevitably some sort of change in size, which might be, it could be, a few thousand hectares, depending on, you can see there's a lot of perimeter here. And if we see fire growth, we'll use the example of 100 meters out on lots of areas of this fire, just 100 meters, so not very much. If we add up all of that hectares around the whole perimeter, that could be thousands of hectares in size. It might not mean that it's moving in any particular direction. It's just, it is increasing. It's a very large perimeter it's not a very clean shape of a fire right now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and we'll pass it back over to you, and available for questions. I'll hang out for a while on the rest of this call.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Forrest. We really appreciate it. Again, that's Forrest Tower. He's an information officer with BC Wildfire Service, and we'll have some comments from my colleagues here as well. But let's go to questions from the media. We'll just take a look at our list, which is up on our screen just above our camera here. And I don't see any questions just at the moment. And we're looking for your hands up. If you could, please. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to ask Derek if he can jump in for just a moment. Derek Sutherland, did you have any questions for Forrest or any comments that you wanted to share while we have a moment?
No, I'm really pleased to see that the smoke is lifted and that the wildfire is able to fly. And I'm looking forward to seeing that new track and getting that new perimeter information. So thank you, Forrest.
All right. And I've got a couple of numbers for you before we go over to Tracy. The CSRD, the Columbia Shuswap Regional District phone number for the Emergency Operations Center, if you have any questions, is 250-833-3350. That's 833-3350. And if you have questions about emergency support services, this is the number to call, 250-833-3360. That's 833-3360. We'll just check and see if we have any hands. I don't see any hands up. Tracy, you've been talking to a lot of people, the media, members of the public. There are some key concerns out there, and a lot of them revolve around evacuation alerts and orders. No change at this point to the orders and alerts.
That's correct. We have no changes. Everything is currently remaining as it's showing on the wildfire dashboard, on our Shuswap Emergency Program dashboard. We are in continual communication with BC Wildfire. They make the recommendations to us about when it may be possible to lift any orders, to convert people from order to an alert status, or if we needed to expand an order area or an alert area. So we're in constant touch with that. And of course, that's our first priority, is getting that information out once the BC Wildfire makes their recommendation.
Okay, I still don't see any questions from the media. I'm sure they will have some for us. I'd like to ask you if you can comment on some of the issues that have been dealt with over the past couple of days or have been discussed around people who remain in areas under evacuation order. Do you have any comments on that situation? Has there been any change?
Seemingly improving change in some collaboration, some efforts being made for community to work side by side with wildfire. I know just, anecdotally, the unit crew that's working up north of Lee Creek, kind of working side by side with locals there. So, that's what we're trying to work towards, is just more collaboration. And I'm not going to belabor the point because I've talked about safety a lot yesterday, but that's our end goal. So just really encourage that collaboration as we go forward. I know that there was a meeting yesterday, that's my understanding, between wildfire and some folks looking to more just organize those efforts. And so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, just looking forward to some more increased collaboration as we go forward.
Excellent. I see two questions. We'll start with Castanet and then we'll go to Randy Adams. Castanet, go ahead, please.
Hi, this is Josh Dawson with Castanet Kamloops. I just wanted to ask, I think Forrest just spoke to this a little bit, but what can be done to ensure cooperative fire efforts between BCWS and those communities?
Number one thing is communication. I think that is the root of all problems, and almost all problems in life comes back to communication. So just really wanting to emphasize that, again, I'll try and keep my answer short, but we have a really good model of this going on the Rossmore Lake fire. We have a really strong engagement from the Knutsford community, really strong community firefighter group that we have partially hired, so paying some if they do want to sign up with us. Huge contingent of volunteers that are there. We've been doing that since July. It's working really well. And not saying that there's big differences. There's no differences in between what's happening in any of these places on any fire in BC. If there is communication and willingness from locals, we still want people to leave. An evacuation order is there for a reason. If people have made that choice to stay, again, made that choice to stay on private property is what the answer is. If you want to stay, it's on your personal private property. And if you want to do that, you just need to communicate with us as wildfire. There is ways we can work together. It could go as far as hiring people as emergency firefighters if there is a base level of training and safety certifications and personal protective equipment. We have gone as far as that, and it works very well. And also there's the option to just be more involved in our operational activities. And it just, again, comes back to communication and the willingness at some level to take direction from someone in BC Wildfire. we are setting the operational tactics. And so, there needs to be some trust in that what we are doing is the most efficient way and the fastest way to get people back into this area. And so just really asking locals if they could work again. I've said the word collaboration probably more times than I ever have in my life in the last 2 weeks. But that's really what it comes down to, is just, if you're there, make yourself known, and you will have to take direction from someone that is an expert and is part of the response model. And if that's willingness is there, it can work extremely well. And it does honestly help us in the long run.
All right, thank you very much, Forrest. We've got about 15 minutes left. Did you want to jump in on that one at all, Erick, on the collaboration, communication, anything that you want?
Yeah, certainly. We've been working with BC Wildfire to develop a system to kind of sort out these issues that have been happening in the community, and get those people who want to help a way to help.
Let's go to Randy Adams now. A question for the panel or for Forrest Tower. Go ahead, please, Randy.
Thank you. It's actually for the panel. I know I've had this question answered already today, but I'm going to ask it again. Just for some clarification, the TRND has announced today that 11 properties have been impacted due to the fire. What kind of timeline are we looking at here for properties partially or fully damaged by the Bush Creek East fire?
Would like to take that one.
I'll take that one. So it's work is active right now in the community, and it may be finished as soon as this evening. I've got reports from Canada Task Force 1 that they're making really good progress on things, and then or tomorrow. So I think estimates on damages is going to come relatively quickly.
And on that note, when the information is confirmed, a plan will be delivered that provides the information to the homeowners who were impacted. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. We're making a plan to contact those homeowners that have been impacted. And of course, that's always a very sensitive conversation.
Okay. So as soon as that information is available, Randy, did you have a quick follow-up on that?
Oh, I have so many, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Randy. Let's go to BF Connect. I'm not sure who that is, but if you want to go ahead, if you have a question for the panel or for Forrest Tower with BC Wildfire Service, go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. It's Barbara Fairclough. I'm with the South Shuswap Scoop. And like others, I have several questions, but what I'd like to hear is perhaps from Forrest, any sort of broader prospects for growth and direction of the fire. It's come from Adams Lake. It's now permeated the South Shuswap to a large degree. We've got Salmon Arm in that corridor. What are you looking at for the broader picture?
Yeah, we've had no major growth in the last 48 hours. So that's kind of the trend we're looking to keep is no, again, the word major being that, again, there will be growth. That number is going to increase. When we're talking about major growth, it's, thousands of hectares of uncontrolled growth in some area, which is not what we're looking for and not expecting at this time. There are areas that are continually exhibiting active fire. So I know that there was rain that I've talked about it. That amount of rain is not going to put this fire out. It's burned very, very deep into the ground, given drought conditions and how hot the fire burned as it moved through several areas. So in terms of future growth, we have a lot of weeks left of summer. We are still in our core fire season in terms of weather, but some promising things are that as we go further into fall, the burning window decreases. So we have less daylight hours, we have cooler temperatures, often more increased precipitation as we get out of August into September. So those are all promising things where we're kind of getting over the cusp of wildfire season where weather is improving in our favor instead of days getting longer. Not expecting, based on currently the exhibited fire behavior, not seeing any major challenges that would affect things, as far away as Salmon Arm. That's not what we're working with right now. We're really working on where the fire currently is burning on its active perimeter, which the footprint you see on the dashboard is fairly accurate in the general sense of where it is. Again, please don't rely on it for looking at if your property has been impacted. It is definitely not that accurate yet. But for a general sense of where this fire is, if we're talking, a span of kilometers buffer on either side, not kilometers, less than a kilometer on either side, it's generally accurate. So we have a large contingent of firefighters out there. We're expected to receive about 100 to 150 more wildland firefighters today and tomorrow. How fires are ranked in the province, we have a process. It's RSWAP. Government loves acronyms, and that's the one for this. So it's a system that ranks fires based on essentially the BC emergency response goals, life and property, just under, first responder safety, worked way down the list. I talked about this yesterday. We're currently #1 in the province in terms of the Bush Creek East wildfire. So every resource that is made available that is not critical to other firefighting operations, it's on its way here. So we're getting 100 to 150. Those have been mobilized already. I'll take the question out of people's minds of why weren't they already here. The process started when this fire started to increase in size. And as everything logistically, it takes time to get people, to get all the resources from across the province. We have firefighters, structural fire departments here from as far as Vancouver Island, Smithers. They're from everywhere in the province. So we're getting more resources, and the idea is keep it where it is, limit further spread into other communities, rely on our structural firefighters to do their job of working in community. And we're not expecting at this time any major change in terms of fire growth. But again, I'm going to throw a huge caveat out there that I need to check what day it is, August 23rd. There's weeks left of potential active fire behavior. So I really want to make that clear. But as of right now, in a promising trend of direction.
Forrest, thank you so much. I appreciate all your detail and your candor. We have time for just one more question before we're going to let Forrest go back to his regularly scheduled program, which is nonstop media and firefighting activities behind the scenes. Randy has a follow-up. And then after that, we'll get to our panel here with a couple of quick reminders before we wrap it up. Randy, go ahead, please.
Thank you. This one's for Forrest because, I haven't had a chance to talk to him today, so might as well just utilize this platform. Now that the Bush Creek East fire is #1, as you said, does that mean that the Canadian Armed Forces are going to be coming down and helping as well?
Separate process. So the RSWAP, that acronym, is the Resource Wildfire Allocation Sharing Protocol. And that is internal. That's a BC Wildfire Service thing. That's not like a provincial. It is a provincial government. Obviously, we're in provincial government. It's not a beyond us or outside of us or a federal government thing. That is just essentially how the BC Wildfire Service ranks fires and determines where our resources go. So I don't make that decision. I don't think that that's something that I'm aware of at this point. If federal assistance has been offered or asked for outside of, my incident management team is working on managing this fire. I'm sure there are always conversations happening above us at the Provincial Wildfire Coordination Center in Kamloops, kind of the oversight body of all what's happening operationally. Maybe, but as of this second, I don't have confirmation of that, but it is a possibility, I guess. The federal government usually does and has been engaged with us. There's firefighters in Vanderhoof Fort St. James Zone, Canadian Armed Forces there. So possibility, I'm not sure if that's happening, and I don't want to say something that isn't true unless I know that for a fact.
Forrest, thank you very much for your time. Oh, go ahead, Randy, sorry.
I was just going to say, I know I appreciate that. I just wasn't sure if maybe something was coming, but cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to our media representatives for providing some good insight into what's going on with this fire. And Forrest, thank you. Again, we do appreciate your time. We're recording again on Wednesday, August 23rd. We started at 2:00 and we're planning another one for Thursday, August 24th. And we're hoping Forrest will be back for that. Forrest, can you join us again tomorrow?
You betcha. Anytime you need me, I'm here. So let me know, and I will be on providing any updates. And one more plug for me. My number, my email's on the incident page. Google BCWS dashboard, however you want to get there, go to our website. You can get to the dashboard, click on the fire. You can call me, you can email me, and happy to answer any questions. So thanks for having me.
Excellent. Thank you so much. As we wrap up, just a couple of quick reminders and messages from my colleagues here. We have Tracy Hughes, who is an information officer with the Columbia Shuswap Regional District Emergency Operations Center, and Erick Sutherland is the EOC Director and Protective Services Team Leader with CSRD. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this session?
Yeah, I just want to let people know that we did get special authority from the province to offer ESS supports to those communities that aren't on order, but are cut off by the order area. So those are the communities of Angelmont and St. Ives. And if people are in those areas and they want to evacuate, we can give support through our reception center in Samanar.
Is Magna Bay part of that?
Magna Bay is on, most of Magna Bay is on orders. So Magna Bay residents are already offered that, but anything in Magna Bay that's outside of the order area, which is a small sliver, are eligible now.
Okay, thank you so much, Derek. Tracy, it's been a busy day, busy couple of days for you. Final messages before we wrap up our session.
Final message would be, people are asking, what can I do? How can I help? And that's a common thing and a wonderful thing. Something we want to support. One of those things we would like to say is for those of you in the evacuation order area who have left, thank you, because that is how you're helping us. By staying out of those areas, by putting your trust in us, that we're going to do the very best we can along with BC Wildfire to protect your homes. So that's certainly something important, but we also are receiving plenty of asks about donations. So I'm just going to make a note of a phone number here for those looking to donate who have supplies or anything else they may want to offer. The contact phone number for that is 250-833-3396. And that number will provide you with a place where you can share what you've got to offer, and we'll try to make some matches with community needs there. One more thing I would stress is that we are providing the best information we can as quickly as we can. This sometimes does take a little bit of time. We want to make sure that we're providing accurate information, and we want people to be sure that they're looking at trusted sources. So please reach out to our website, csrd.bc.ca. Please reach out to our official pages, which are the CSRD on Facebook, the CSRD on Instagram, Twitter, the Shuswap Emergency Program on Facebook and Twitter. All of those sources will be kept as up to date as possible.
Okay, thank you both very much. And also thank you to the media, and thanks to Forrest Tower for participating from BC Wildfire Service. Just a quick note, certainly this is a very difficult time for everyone involved, and it's important to know that everyone working behind the scenes at the Emergency Operations Center based here in Salmon Arm, and of course, all of the first responders, firefighters, are thinking about everyone who is dealing with some nerves, some concerns, some challenges. It's a very difficult time. We can't put ourselves in your position, but please do know that a lot of people are putting in a lot of hours to make this as the least uncomfortable situation as possible and to provide all the supports that you need. So again, reach out to those numbers and visit those websites and official sources if you have any questions or need any support. And a quick reminder that the Emergency Support Services Reception Center in the Salmon Arm area is located at the 5th Avenue Seniors Activity Center. That's at 170 5th Avenue Southeast in Salmon Arm, and 250-833-3360 is the number to call for more information. We're going to wrap it up there. And a reminder, we're recording on August 23rd. There will be another briefing live carried on YouTube again, and that will be Thursday, August 24th, scheduled for 2 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for